Welcome to Framework, the podcast that makes the NIST cybersecurity framework practical, engaging, and accessible. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business leader, or simply curious about how organizations defend against cyber threats, this series is for you. This podcast is inspired by a comprehensive guide to the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, a best-selling resource written by cybersecurity expert Dr. Jason Edwards and trusted by professionals worldwide. In each episode, we'll leverage a few insights from Jason's extensive book to dive deep into CSF 2.0, unpacking every function, category, and subcategory with real-world applications you can immediately use. If you're enjoying this episode and want to learn more, head over to cyberauthor.me to grab your copy of the book and access additional resources to enhance your cybersecurity journey. You can also visit baremetalcyber.com, where over 2 million people last year explored expert insights, articles, and practical tools across a wide range of cybersecurity topics. RS.MI-02, Eradicating Incident Threats. RS.MI-02 ensures that organizations completely remove cybersecurity threats from affected systems, eliminating malicious code, unauthorized access points, and vulnerabilities that attackers exploited during an incident. This subcategory belongs to the Respond function within the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework, version 2.0, emphasizing that effective eradication prevents attackers from reestablishing access, reduces the likelihood of reinfection, and strengthens an organization's security posture post-incident. Without structured eradication procedures, organizations risk leaving residual threats within their networks, allowing attackers to regain control and potentially escalate an incident into a larger breach. By implementing structured eradication strategies, organizations ensure that cybersecurity teams systematically identify and remove all traces of malicious activity, including backdoors, malware, and unauthorized accounts. A well-defined eradication framework includes forensic investigation, advanced threat hunting capabilities, and automated remediation tools to ensure that compromised assets are fully cleaned before being returned to normal operations. Organizations that adopt AI-driven malware removal, integrate endpoint detection and response (EDR) tools, and enforce structured post-incident validation protocols improve their ability to prevent persistent threats, restore system integrity, and enhance long-term cybersecurity resilience. Multiple stakeholders play a role in threat eradication. Security Operations Center (SOC) analysts and incident response teams are responsible for identifying the root cause of an attack, removing all traces of malicious activity, and ensuring that attackers cannot re-enter compromised environments. IT administrators and system engineers ensure that patch systems, hardened configurations, and clean backups are deployed to prevent reinfection. Executive leadership and compliance officers play a critical role in overseeing eradication efforts, ensuring alignment with business continuity goals, and verifying that cybersecurity teams adhere to regulatory remediation requirements. Effective threat eradication is implemented through structured forensic analysis, automated malware removal tools, and predefined remediation workflows. This includes using AI-driven threat intelligence to detect hidden attack remnants, integrating automated vulnerability remediation to close exploited security gaps, and enforcing strict post-eradication validation procedures to confirm system integrity. Organizations that fail to implement structured eradication processes risk persistent security vulnerabilities, reinfection of previously compromised systems, and potential regulatory non-compliance due to incomplete remediation. Several key terms define threat eradication and its role in cybersecurity governance. Malware removal ensures that organizations eliminate all instances of malicious software, including Trojans, ransomware, and rootkits from infected devices. Threat hunting investigations ensure that organizations proactively search for indicators of compromise (IOCs) to detect hidden attacker footholds. Security patch deployment ensures that organizations apply necessary software updates to close exploited vulnerabilities and prevent attackers from reusing known attack vectors. Credential reset and privilege revocation ensures that organizations reset compromised credentials and revoke unauthorized access to to prevent attacker persistence. System integrity verification ensures that organizations conduct forensic analyses to confirm that all affected assets have been fully remediated before being reintroduced to operational environments. Challenges in eradicating cybersecurity threats often lead to incomplete remediation, lingering security gaps, and repeated cyber intrusions. One common issue is failure to conduct deep forensic investigations, where organizations remove visible threats but overlook hidden backdoors or unauthorized user accounts left by attackers. Another issue is delayed patching and configuration hardening, where organizations fail to address the root causes of an incident, allowing attackers to exploit the same vulnerabilities again. Some organizations mistakenly believe that threat eradication is complete once malware is removed, without recognizing that additional security layers such as user access reviews and network segmentation updates are necessary to prevent reinfection. When organizations implement structured eradication frameworks, they strengthen cybersecurity resilience, prevent persistent attacker footholds, and reduce long-term exposure to repeated security incidents. A structured eradication model ensures that cybersecurity teams follow predefined remediation steps, IT teams validate post-incident system integrity, and leadership enforces policy-driven eradication oversight. Organizations that adopt AI-driven malware detection, enforce automated security patching, and integrate continuous post-incident monitoring develop a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy that effectively eliminates cyber threats and restores operational security. Organizations that fail to implement structured eradication procedures face severe security, operational, and compliance risks. Without comprehensive remediation efforts, businesses risk allowing attackers to maintain persistence, leaving open vulnerabilities that enable reinfection, and failing to meet regulatory requirements for secure system recovery. A common issue is overlooking stealthy attack remnants, where organizations remove visible malware but fail to detect hidden backdoors or unauthorized accounts that allow adversaries to return. Another major challenge is failure to address the root cause of the breach, where organizations eliminate symptoms of an attack without fixing the exploited vulnerabilities, leading to repeat incidents. By implementing structured eradication strategies, organizations ensure that compromised systems are fully cleansed of malicious activity and restored to a secure state. A well-defined eradication framework integrates forensic analysis, automated remediation tools, and strict validation protocols to confirm that no residual threats remain. Organizations that deploy AI-driven malware scanning, integrate automated vulnerability remediation, and enforce strict change control procedures improve their ability to prevent reinfection, protect system integrity, and ensure compliance with security best practices. At the partial tier, organizations lack formalized eradication procedures, leading to inconsistent or incomplete remediation of cybersecurity incidents. Threat removal efforts may be handled reactively, with IT teams attempting to clean infected systems manually without comprehensive forensic investigation. A small business at this level may delete ransomware files from a workstation, but fail to identify that the attacker also installed a backdoor, allowing future reinfection. At the risk-informed tier, organizations begin to establish structured eradication workflows, ensuring that security teams follow predefined steps for removing cyber threats. However, these processes may still be manual, requiring security analysts to review logs and identify lingering threats without automated assistance. A mid-size healthcare provider at this level may manually scan for and remove known malware, but fail to implement automated vulnerability patching, leaving systems exposed to the same attack techniques. At the repeatable tier, organizations implement a fully structured eradication framework, ensuring that security threat removal is standardized, automated, and validated across all affected systems. Cybersecurity governance is formalized, with leadership actively involved in defining remediation policies, overseeing vulnerability management efforts, and ensuring compliance with incident response best practices. A multinational financial institution at this stage may use endpoint detection and response (EDR) tools to automatically quarantine and remove malware, followed by post-remediation forensic analysis to verify full threat eradication. At the adaptive tier, organizations employ machine learning-driven threat eradication, predictive security analytics, and automated risk-based remediation strategies to proactively detect, remove, and prevent persistent cybersecurity threats. Threat eradication processes are fully integrated into enterprise cybersecurity operations, ensuring that security teams use AI-powered analysis to continuously monitor for residual threats and dynamically refine remediation strategies. A global technology firm at this level may use real-time forensic monitoring and behavioral anomaly detection to identify and eliminate adversary footholds before they can re-establish access. Eradicating cybersecurity threats aligns with multiple controls in the National Institute of Standards and Technology Special Publication 800-53, ensuring that organizations implement structured methodologies for cybersecurity threat elimination, remediation enforcement, and post-incident validation. One key control is IR-5, incident monitoring, which requires organizations to continuously track and verify the effectiveness of threat eradication efforts to prevent reinfection and ensure that compromised systems are fully remediated. A cloud services provider implementing this control may use AI-powered security event monitoring to detect and eliminate advanced persistent threats, APTs, attempting to re-establish footholds. Another key control is SC-34, System Security Engineering Principles, which mandates that organizations apply security best practices to harden systems against reinfection, ensuring that eradicated threats do not return through previously exploited vulnerabilities. A national healthcare network implementing this control may enforce strict configuration baselines and vulnerability patching policies to prevent attackers from exploiting the same weaknesses after an incident. Eradicating cybersecurity threats also aligns with SI-2, flaw remediation, which requires organizations to identify, document, and correct security weaknesses that led to an incident, ensuring that attackers cannot exploit the same vulnerabilities again. This control ensures that organizations apply software patches, update security configurations, and implement additional safeguards to strengthen their defenses post-incident. A multinational technology firm implementing this control may automate vulnerability remediation, using AI-driven patch management to address security flaws before they can be exploited again. These controls can be adapted based on organizational size, industry, and cybersecurity maturity. A small business may implement basic threat eradication procedures, ensuring that IT teams manually remove detected malware, update software patches, and reset affected accounts to prevent unauthorized access. A large enterprise may deploy AI-driven threat hunting, automated remediation systems, and forensic validation mechanisms to ensure that cybersecurity threat eradication remains continuously refined and aligned with evolving attack techniques. Organizations in highly regulated industries such as finance, healthcare, and critical infrastructure may require legally mandated threat remediation frameworks, compliance-driven cybersecurity eradication policies, and structured post-incident forensic validation processes to align with industry security standards. Auditors assess an organization's ability to eradicate cybersecurity threats effectively by reviewing whether documented, consistently enforced, and automated remediation frameworks are in place. They evaluate whether organizations implement predefined threat eradication procedures, enforce structured remediation policies, and integrate real-time security validation mechanisms into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance. If an organization fails to eradicate cybersecurity threats effectively, auditors may issue findings highlighting gaps in cybersecurity risk management, weak remediation execution, and failure to integrate structured threat eradication strategies into enterprise security frameworks. To verify compliance, auditors seek specific types of evidence. Threat eradication policy documentation and structured cybersecurity remediation reports demonstrate that organizations formally define and enforce cybersecurity threat removal standards. Automated remediation system records and compliance-driven cybersecurity eradication logs provide insights into whether organizations proactively detect, remove, and prevent security threats based on predefined cybersecurity remediation protocol. AI-driven cybersecurity threat eradication dashboards and predictive security risk analysis tools show whether organizations effectively track, monitor, and refine cybersecurity remediation strategies using real-world attack data and adaptive security controls. A compliance success scenario could involve a global financial services provider that undergoes an audit and provides evidence that structured cybersecurity eradication strategies are fully integrated into enterprise security governance, ensuring that all security threats are continuously monitored, identified, and removed based on predefined remediation models. Auditors confirm that cybersecurity eradication policies are systematically enforced, cybersecurity threat removal mechanisms are dynamically refined, and enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance frameworks align with structured cybersecurity remediation models. In contrast, an organization that fails to implement structured cybersecurity eradication frameworks, neglects real-time security validation, or lacks formalized cybersecurity remediation workflows may receive audit findings for poor cybersecurity risk management, weak remediation execution, and failure to align cybersecurity eradication strategies with regulatory compliance mandates. Organizations face multiple barriers in ensuring that cybersecurity eradication remains continuous and effective. One major challenge is failure to integrate threat eradication with forensic analysis, where organizations remove active threats without conducting deep investigations to identify root causes and hidden attacker persistence. Another challenge is over-reliance on manual remediation workflows, where organizations fail to automate cybersecurity threat removal, leading to delayed response times and increased risk of reinfection. A final challenge is difficulty maintaining cybersecurity eradication consistency across global operations, where organizations struggle to apply standardized threat remediation policies across multiple subsidiaries, regions, and regulatory jurisdictions. Organizations can overcome these barriers by developing structured cybersecurity eradication frameworks, ensuring that cybersecurity remediation policies remain continuously optimized, and integrating real-time threat validation models into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance strategies. Investing in AI-driven cybersecurity, threat hunting, automated compliance-driven remediation, and predictive cybersecurity incident response tools ensures that organizations dynamically assess, monitor, and refine cybersecurity remediation strategies in real time, standardizing cybersecurity threat eradication methodologies across departments, subsidiaries, and external business partners ensures that cybersecurity remediation policies are consistently applied, reducing exposure to persistent threats while strengthening enterprise-wide cybersecurity resilience. By embedding cybersecurity eradication strategies into enterprise security governance frameworks, organizations enhance cybersecurity remediation capabilities, improve regulatory compliance, and ensure sustainable cybersecurity threat removal processes across evolving cyber risk landscapes. That wraps up today's discussion on framework. Don't stop here. Head over to cyberauthor.me to explore more cybersecurity topics and discover a best-selling book covering NIST and other critical cyber frameworks. Please like, rate, and review this episode on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, remember that knowledge is power.